This is a true story lived by a man by the name of Charles Mulli, who is still inspiring people today. When Charles Mulli was only at the age of 8, his family abandoned him. They left him to fend for himself. Thankfully, he was able to stay with his grandma until the circumstances got really bad. His mother came back hardly recognizable from all the terrible beatings she got from her husband, Charles' father. Charles returned with his mother and sent him to stay with his grandfather. Charles was overjoyed when he found out that he was able to go to school, which was something that he only dreamed of. But just when Charles thought that everything was going fantastic, his family once again abandoned him. Charles went by train to go to his parents. Once Charles found his parents, he was sent away once again, unwanted. So he decided to get a job so he wasn't struggling to survive. This back-breaking work made him little money. He used his money to buy food, and what was left over he had to pay for some schooling. Slowly, he made it through 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, but life was still a struggle. He began to wonder what the point was to keep on living. Then one day, a friend invited him to a Bible study where he was taught the gospel. Everything clicked, and he came to know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. And he searched for a better job. Through this, he found a lovely lady named Esther, who later asked her for her hand in marriage. Charles' hard-working mindset began to finally pay off. He earned more money, which 60% was given away to his parents. His own family began to grow. Charles adopted his baby sister, and he and Esther had a child of their own. While things were going well with Charles, the beatings on his mother and brothers continued to worsen. They were so bad that Charles' mother could hardly survive them. She was bruised and broken. Charles could take it no longer. He reported his father to the chief, and the punishment was death. In the middle of his father's punishment, Charles had a change of heart. God gave him the power to forgive, and he commanded the beatings to stop and forgave his father. Charles began his own business called the Mulli Ways. This was a taxi or bus business which made him a millionaire. One day when everything was great with Charles and he was driving back from work, he went past a street boy that reminded him of his days in poverty. God humbled him and he broke down in his vehicle and prayed to God for hours. He had compassion on the street kids and he made a promise to God to never work for money again. After a long process of trying to convince his wife and being rejected by his church family, Charles started a safe haven for the street children. Soon, Charles had saved 600 children from the life that he once lived. Charles also started a center to give special care to the street girls that were expecting babies. It seemed as though everything that Charles touched was blessed by God. All of Charles' children in the Mulli school ranked first in the whole district, and they celebrated by dancing and praise to God. Things didn't always go perfectly. They went through drought, sickness, disease, and other difficult trials. But they stayed faithful to God, and through it all had peace and joy, knowing that God works out everything for good. With a little help from his children joining the ministry and over 300 staff, the Mulli Children's Family is still flourishing today and helps thousands of Kenyans, not only street children, but the whole community, and inspires many people today.